Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the finale of episode of Brewing Live, filling your digital cup with great stuff brought to you by D Cup Coffee Republic, the home of certified life coaches here in the Philippines and now going global. Brewing Live is a 30-day exploration journey with the aims to fill your digital cup with great stuff to ignite your space with opportunities for impact, income, and influence. For today's episode, I will share with you the 5 imposter syndromes. And my name is Master Coach Lakendra Smalley, and I am the founder and CEO of the Global Institute for Coaches and Entrepreneurs. And it's such an honor to be able to be here with you on today with a very informational type of talk. It's something a little bit different. I just wanted to come on and fill your cup with wisdom. And with the wisdom that you're going to receive tonight, I want you to be able to kind of sleep on it because I wanted to filter through your reflection processing system. Because sometimes, as entrepreneurs, as life coaches, as business owners, and high level professionals, we wonder why we get stuck. We wonder why we sometimes have to keep repeating that cycle and why we can't create newer cycles. And I have also gone through this process and still go through this process sometimes. And I have to revisit back in reflection to understand that I'm really worthy enough of breaking my cycles so I can keep climbing and filling my cup with great stuff. So tonight I'm going to give you some great stuff and I just want you to enjoy it. I want you to take some notes. So make sure you have something to write with. Jump in deep with me and let's get into it. The 5 imposter syndromes. I kind of have broken it down because it's the first group of people that I truly want to talk to is, let's see here. Next slide, please. I want to talk to my professionals. That's who I want to talk to first. So, by highly successful people, do you have an imposter within? I want you to think about that. Not even knowing, if you don't know what the imposter syndrome is, just think about, do you have something within you that tells you something that keeps you from moving forward when you know you are worthy, you have the gifts, you have the skill set to move forward, but it's something inside of you that keeps you from doing so. So imposter syndrome can be defined as a collection of feelings of inadequacy that persist despite evident success. So despite of your degrees, you worked so hard in school, you made it, you finished your undergrad, you possibly went to your master's, you probably even excelled to your PhD, and now you're in that great position. But for some reason, you've stopped climbing in that position. What keeps you stuck? What is it that the imposter says? I had this problem years ago when I felt like I wasn't worthy enough of being a global leader. So imposters suffer from chronic self-doubt and a sense of intellectual fraudulence that override any feelings of success and external proof of their competence. Even with you being competent and you have proven your bank account definitely proves it, your home life, you got your home life together, you're thriving and you're thriving in your family life, your spiritual life is together, you have all of this togetherness, but when it comes to your next level of success, it's something that is keeping you in that incompetence. So they seem unable to internalize their own accomplishments. It's like you're unable to see that in your life you have gone to another level, even in situations where we have experienced a lot of sadness and a lot of personal pain. And we're no longer in that pain. We're now in in our new life, and the past still is the past, but we still bring it to our present. Why do we allow that imposter to invade us? And we're going to talk a little bit about that a little down the line. So high achieving, high successful people often suffer. So imposter syndrome don't equate with a low self-esteem. Like that's a myth. Like, oh, I have an imposter syndrome. Well, that person must have a low self-esteem or low confidence. No, right now I'm talking to highly successful people. In fact, some researchers have linked it to perfectionism. And we're going to talk about that perfectionism, imposter that invades highly successful people, because highly successful people want everything to be perfect to the point that that next level never happens because perfection doesn't exist there. I don't have enough. Like I need to wait until I can hire this person and this person and this person. It almost turns into a procrastination. And this was really big for me. And that's the reason why I was like, I want to start sharing this with the community so we can start rising together, filling our cup up with great stuff so we can really break through these barriers. So so-called imposters think that every task they tackle has to be done perfectly. If you're that person, just write it down. Like, this was me. I want us to start using these past tense words, because this was me, but I am no longer this. I must not fail. It's all down to luck. Like, instead of saying, I earned this because of my talents, because of my skill set, because I worked my tushy off and I'm here because I earned this, we will say, oh, it was just my luck. No, it was your great talent. It was your hard work and your dedication. Why do we always have to denounce our power? Because it's your power that has made you a highly successful person. Success is no big deal, like it's just something that happens to everyone. No, there is only a small percentage of the world that reach a high successful level. So it is a big deal. And, we always avoid talking to our highly successful people. So I wanted to start off talking to my highly successful people on today, because there is an energy brewing right now in the universe for you to grasp. Like, it's time for you to collapse onto it and start owning your power and your strength to move to your next level in your job, in your positions, in your salary, in your heart space. It's time for you to start growing bigger and being more abundantful in how you're showing up in your communities and how you're assisting, because you have the strategy, you have the skill set, you have the tools to be more impactful. Okay. Coping with this sort of imposter. I want to give you some coping skills, and then I'm going to move on from my highly successful people. Okay. I want you to recognize the imposter feelings when they emerge. So whenever you start hearing what you should not be doing for whatever reasons, if it doesn't make you feel good, like if those thoughts don't make you feel good, where you hear it and you can't take action right after that alive thought, I want you to recognize when those feelings emerge, and what part of the day is it? What happened before, kind of like the antecedent? What happened before the thought? Because we want to tackle those right now today. I want you to be able to, like I said, this is all about reflection. I'm not really teaching a whole lot. I'm just giving you information that you can find anywhere. But I think it's so important right now during Brewing Live, since I have you here with me. I want you to rewrite your mental programs. Well, how do you do that? You can rewrite them with intentions, like intention statements. Like I am. Like what is it that you want to be? What is it that you want to attain? What is it that you want to overcome? I claim, I am, my life is. My life is what? I claim what? I am what? Speak in present tense and start rewriting those bad programmings that reside in our heads that's saying that I can't do it. It's almost like today. So let me just tell you about my day. So I woke up today, I had 4 clients. Then right before this class, I had my own group that I had to attend to for about an hour and a half. Then I had another group after that for an hour, and then I had to be here. And in my mind, my imposter was saying, Lakendra, but we're tired. And my motto is, when you are called to serve, you show up no matter what. That's my mental programming that I tell my imposter. No matter what, we will rest after this. So you got to talk about your feelings and how you feel and really own it and be for real about internal feelings and not negating those things and not putting them to the side, because that's the reason why we live in so much depression and anxiety. My high successful people that I coach every single day, 6 and 7 figure people, they live in so much anxiety and so much fear of really living in their feelings of saying what they need to speak in their truth. Okay. So reframe from failure as a learning opportunity, meaning that your success is not on a whim. Your success is not like some magic. Your success is because you worked your butt off. You've did the work. You've done all of the studying. You have the skill set, and now you are here making a difference because you deserve it. Okay? And be kind to yourself. This is the whole self-care movement about honoring yourself. Honor is a big thing for me, right? Because honor speaks to what? The integrity from inside, from within. How do you truly feel about yourself will show up in honor. If you feel like crap, then people will be able to see it. Like, so in spite of all of your success, all the money that you're making, if you're constantly grinding for a dollar, are you really truly being kind to yourself? So I want you to be more kind to yourself in honoring your accomplishments, learning how to take a step back and breathe, just and enjoy that moment. Enjoy that pause, enjoy that success. Okay. My highly successful people, those 2 slides were specifically for you because it was in my spirit that it was a lot of you going to be on today. And so I want you to reflect, think about it, sleep on this, allow the cycle to happen. You got the information, ponder on it with some notes, sleep on it, wake up in reflection, and be kind to yourself and deal with your imposter. Okay. Okay. Awesome. So let's talk about the 5 types of imposter syndrome. Now, I'm just going to be asking you some tough questions. I want you to think about them. Like I said, this is more information because I'm trying to fill this cup up to the rim, right? I don't want you to leave with a half full cup. I want it to be totally full to the rim. 5 types of imposter syndrome. The first one is the perfectionist. My highly successful people. Right? This was kind of us, but then my people who are also climbing, they're still trying to figure it out. They're trying to find their way. You can fit here too. Set extremely high expectations for themselves. And even if they meet 99% of their goals, it's not good enough. You look at it as a failure because of 1%. Do you know 99% is a high percentage. There's only 100 and 100%. So 99% is very high, but it's not good enough. So any small mistake will make them question their own competence. Not sure if this applies to you. I want to ask these questions and I want you to ponder. Have you ever been accused of being a micromanager? Not at work, but at home with your friends. You know, when your friends are wanting to help you do something, maybe you ask them to come over and they're helping you to organize your room and you gave them something to organize, but you're behind them looking at, oh, let me see how you did that drawer, making sure that it's right. Or, you know, even with your children, when you give them a task and you're going behind them so they can make their own mistakes and they can learn. You want to micromanage everything. Is that you? Do you have difficulty delegating? Do you have difficulty giving things away? Like, psh, 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 here you go, and leaving it alone? Is that you? Even when you're able to do so, do you feel frustrated and disappointed in the results? Like, I just should have done it myself. I'm so guilty. I cannot believe that I used to suffer from perfectionism. Like, if you knew me personally, you would have never thought that I suffered from perfectionism. But I used to be that way. Like, I just should have done it myself. They didn't do it right. When you miss the insanely high mark, insane, that's why that's there. If you miss the insanely high mark, you know, because of that 1% on something, do you accuse yourself of not being cut out for it, for the job, right? It's like you apply for a position and you didn't get it. You know, your bestie got it. And you immediately downplay yourself because you did not get it. Do you feel like your work must be 100% perfect all the time? The imposter of the perfectionist. Okay, let's get to the next one. The Superman or the Superwoman push themselves to work harder than those around them to prove that they're not an imposter. They feel the need to succeed in all aspects of life, at work, as parents, as partners, and they may feel stressed when they are not accomplishing something. Not sure if this applies to you. Let me ask you some questions. Do you stay later at the office than the rest of your team, even past the point that you've completed the day's necessary work? Are you the person that always stays after everything? Church, instead of you just going, church is over, go home. No, you wanna make sure, you know, you're the person that's gonna walk around, make sure you speak to everyone because you want everybody to know that you're showing up. Or at an event, instead of you going home when at the dismissal of the event, you want to make sure that everybody sees you. Even though you could pack your bags. I love when Master Coach talks about pack your bags. You've gotten everything that you need. Pack your bag and go. Do you get stressed when you're not working and find downtime completely wasteful? Like, oh my gosh, I do not deserve to sit here and have my cup of tea. I should be doing something. You feel guilty of being kind to yourself. Have you let your hobbies and passions fall by the wayside, sacrifice to work? So, in that space of downtime, that's when you can be indulging into what you're passionate about. That's when you could be writing that book. That's when you could be creating a workshop. That's when you could be, you know, fiddling around with your, sewing a shirt or, making a blanket or playing music or just doing something that relaxes you because it makes you feel good. Do you feel like you haven't truly earned your title despite the numerous degrees and achievements? So you feel pressed to work harder and longer than those around you to prove your worth? Are you always trying to show up for others to prove your worthiness? I told my apprentice today, when you wake up, you're worthy. And when you go to sleep, you're worthy. And that cycle repeats every single day. So every day you wake up in worthiness and you fall asleep in worthiness. Embrace that and breathe that in. Imposter of the Superman and of the Superwoman. Okay, what is the next one? The expert. Oh, I know a lot of these imposters. So the expert feel the need to know every piece of information before they start a project and constantly look for new certifications and trainings to improve their skills. However, I want to add this in, they never implement truly anything because they don't have time to go back and read all of those notes and go back and re-engage in all of the study. It's just more information, pow, 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 pow. You know, it's like going into a library and you see a million books and you ask somebody, have you read all those books? And they say, yes, I have. Like, wow. They won't apply for a job if they don't meet the criteria in the posting. And they might be hesitant to ask questions in class or speak up in a meeting at work because they're afraid to look stupid if they don't already know the answer. The expert measure their competence based on what and how much they know or can do, believing they will never know enough. They fear being exposed in an inexperienced or unknowledgeable. Could that be you? I'm going to ask you some questions. Do you shy away from applying to a job or postings unless you meet every single educational requirement? Are you constantly seeking out trainings or certifications because you think you need to improve your skills in order to succeed? Even if you're in a role for sometimes, can you relate to feeling like you still don't know enough? Like even if you got the supervisor role because your manager have seen your worth, and then you get a promotion to manager because your senior manager has seen your worth, and then you get promoted to a senior manager because your VP or your CEO, and you're still questioning yourself, thinking like, oh, I'm only getting all this because they only like me. It's not because I know all of this stuff. Like, because you want to be the expert. Do you shudder when someone says you're an expert? Like, still not even want to own it when people are giving you what you feel that you want, that you desire, to know everything. That's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people, but I get it. But we're going to talk about some coping skills. Just give me a minute, because I want to also talk about the natural genius. My natural geniuses out there, is this you? So when the natural genius has to struggle or work hard to accomplish something, he or she thinks this means that they aren't good enough. I literally was the natural genius after I figured out that I wasn't a dummy for a learning disability that I had when I was younger. I really learned quite well. And it was easy for me to learn as long as I was paying attention, right? So the natural genius, we use the skills coming easily. And when we have to put in the effort, our brain tells us like, psh, 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 imposter, like you want me to do something extra? You want me to learn something new? Like, I got this, right? And then when things are too difficult, we will shut down. And I can speak with this because even now, me being a natural genius, I don't want to have to always prepare. I just want to be able, can I just jump on and do the talk? You want me to read this? It's like order. We don't like stuff like that. So let me see who's going to join my game here. Does this apply? I want to ask you some questions. Are you used to excelling without much effort? Do you have a track record of getting straight A's or gold stars in everything that you do? It starts so early for us, right? Were you told frequently as a child that you were smart? You know, maybe smarter than your sibling? You could hear your parents always say, baby, you the smart one, right? Or you hear your teacher say it all the time. Oh my gosh, you do such a great job. You're so smart. Do you dislike the idea of having a mentor because you can handle things on your own? When you are faced with a setback, does your confidence tumble because not performing well provokes a feeling of shame? Oh my gosh. That gave me goosies. The shame of not knowing, the shame of not being able to be competent in a situation. Do you often avoid challenges because it's so uncomfortable to try something you're not great at? I've overcome that. I'm like radical. I'm going to try. If I can't do it, I'm going to try it. Do you identify here? If so, I want you to kind of journal these things out. Okay. And then the soloist, the soloist, they feel they have to accomplish tasks on their own. Mostly soloists are the introverted people, right? And if they need to ask for help, they think that means that they are a failure or a fraud. Because it's, the soloist is like, if I can't figure this out on my own, then this is not a task that I should be doing. If I have to go and do research, you know, the soloist is more of, I should already have all of this information. Why do I have to continue to be a lifelong learner? Because if I have to go do research, then I'm a fraud. If you want me to talk about wellness and I didn't go to school for wellness, does that mean that I can't speak about wellness? See, the soloists will have a problem with that because they don't want any outside help from even a tool that will assist them. Mm-hmm. Not sure if this applies to you. Let's talk about it. So, do you firmly feel that you need to accomplish things on your own? Is that you? I don't need anyone's help. Does that sound like you? Do you frame requests in terms of the requirements of the project rather than your needs as a person? Is that you? Are you always that person who you say you want to run a business, you say you want to be a team player, you want to be a part of things, but truly deep down inside, you solo rolo. That's what I call it, like solo rolo. There's no way that you can grow in any capacity, like I'm telling you, in any capacity of your life and at the highest level, because you can grow and you can learn. That's why you have a whole section in the library that's called self-help. It's for you to go and get self-help, go and read and learn. The soloist won't even do that because you're now relying on another source. However, if you are a person and you're trying to grow, like in a tribe, like even being here on Brewing Live, part of D Cup, this is a community of growth. This is a community of education, business education, personal development, emotional intelligence, self-help. All of this happens at DCUP, and you're a part of this educational system, which requires you to interact with other people. Like right now, I'm sure there are people in the comments and they're interacting with this live, but the soloist will have a hard problem with doing so. So, because of the imposters, okay, we dealt with 5 imposters, right? So, because of the imposters, these are the giants you will face. Are you ready for them? You will face the giant of self-doubt. You will face the giant of an inability to realistically assess your competence and skills. The giant of attributing your success to external factors, berating your performance. Like berating sounds like such a, oh my gosh, that's a negative word. Who praises you? Who is going to pat you on the back? Who's going to hug you and say, "Oh my gosh, good job," if you can't do it for yourself? The giant of fear that won't live up to the expectation, the overachieving, sabotaging your own success. Some of you are already identifying with these giants. Write your giant down, put it in the thread. What is your giant? Self-doubt. Setting very challenging goals and feeling disappointed when you fall short because you knew the goal was too big to begin with, because your skill set is not there. Shameful of your shame is the biggest thing. Being shameful of your experience. These are the giants that will show up and swallow you like a big old giant. So you have the perfectionist, the Superman, and the Superwoman. You have the natural genius. You have the soloist. You have the expert. All of those are imposters that no longer need to serve you because they come with really big giants. They don't come along, they play dirty, and they keep us from moving forward. So they bring these giants, self-doubt and inability to realistically assess your competence and skills, meaning that you sit down, you know what you can and you cannot do, and you seek help. Or you gain study. Not overstudy, just enough for you to get to your next level. Attributing your success to external factors, berating your performance, fear that you won't live up to your expectations, overachieving, sabotaging your own success, self-doubt, setting very challenging goals and feeling disappointed when you fall short, and shameful of your experience. How many of those giants do you have to slay? But it's okay. I'm going to give you some coping skills. Because remember, this is informational, right? So we talked about, I created the setting for you. Okay. We got into the story. Now we're in the conclusion. So you can feel better and lighten up, right? Like, ooh, because I could just hear y'all all like, ooh, ouch, give me a Band-Aid, Master Coach. Some of you need a Band-Aid and some of you need a needle and thread, because you got to sew up some stuff, okay? So let's talk about some coping skills. We're going into surgery right now. These are the coping skills. To get past the imposter syndrome, you need to start asking yourself some hard questions. Powerful people ask powerful questions. Somebody put that in the feed. Powerful people ask powerful questions, okay? They include things such as the following. Take to your journal for reflection. That's the first thing. Get you something, like this, something that's simple. It doesn't have to be fancy. Something as simple as a spiral, and take to your journal for reflection. You should always be in a writing mode to take all of this up here and it's energy, transfer the energy outwards so you can deal with it with someone that can help you, like a life coach. What core beliefs do I hold about myself? This is really, really important. Every client that comes through my chair, the first thing I'll make them do, it's like a make thing for me, is identify their core values. Because I need to know that you understand who you are, what your purpose is, why are you journeying through this world, and all of that holds in your core values, your why. Do I believe I'm worthy of love as I am? These are the questions you need to ask. Take to your journal for reflection. Always take to your journal for reflection. And in the reflection, what are your core values do you hold about yourself? Do you believe that you are worthy of love? Must you be perfect for others to approve of you? Must you be perfect all the time? There's no such thing as perfection. So to move past these feelings, you need to become comfortable confronting some of those deeply ingrained beliefs you hold about yourself. This can be hard because you might not even realize that you hold them. But here are some techniques that you can use. So by asking those questions, going to your journal, asking those questions, things have surfaced. I know it's okay. Remember, we're in surgery and you're going to come out. Recovery is going to be fine. Just trust me, okay? So here are your techniques. Share your feelings. Even now, some of you are sharing your feelings, even now, which is already healing, right? It's the release of shame. Because shame we keep here in the mind. Shame never lives in the heart, by the way. I want to tell you that. Shame always lives in the head. So sharing your feelings, release that shame. Talk to other people about how you're feeling. These irrational beliefs tend to fester when they're hidden and not talked about. Right? This is why I love the whole life coaching profession. This is the reason why I will live and I'm going to die in the profession. Okay? Because I'm always talking and sharing. Like there's no shame in my game anymore. It's like this imposter is living in me and I need help. Okay? Focus on others. This is so beautiful, right? Focus on others. So while this might feel counterintuitive, try to help others in the same situations as you. You know why? Because you get to gain insight. This is another beautiful reason being in my profession once again, right? And I can only speak about my profession because it's the profession that I'm in. Because I get to talk to people and hear how they went through their own recovery, and I get to take some of their gifts to help me in my suffering. So if you see someone who seems awkward or alone, ask that person a question to bring them into the group instead of like having people sit in a stray, or you know how you're walking down the street and you kind of just see somebody just like lollygagging around. I always challenge people to stop and ask a powerful question to complete strangers, because you never know the conversation and the impact that person can have on your life in your own healing process. So as you practice your skills, you will build confidence in your own abilities. Assess your abilities. Always assess your abilities. If you have long held beliefs about incompetence in social performance situations, make a realistic assessment of your abilities. Write down your accomplishments and what you are good at, and compare that with your self-assessment, right? So you're going to write down all of that negative stuff that you really think that you can't do. Oh my gosh, I can't go live. Oh my gosh, I can't build a program. I can't create a workshop. I can't work a book. I can't talk to people that I don't know. It's all of these I can't. Okay. And I get it. Assess your abilities, and then you're going to write, but I can. And you're going to write that list. And I promise you that list will be really long if you really try to focus and do the work. So assess your abilities. Then, this is my favorite part. Just take baby steps. Don't think like you have, like everything has to be so profound. And I talk about this all the time. Everything doesn't have to be so profound, and you don't have to always jump off of these big high cliffs and mountains, move the mountain. Everything don't have to be about moving the mountain. Sometimes it could just be about little baby feet. Like when the little baby finally tries to walk, the baby takes one or two and fall back down to the knees. Take baby steps. It's okay to take one or two steps and fall back down. Don't focus on doing things perfectly. Remember, we got to get away from the perfectionist. It's a syndrome. But rather do things reasonably well and reward yourself for taking action. Bravo, baby. Great job at those 2 steps. Great job. You did a great job. The next time you focus on 3 and 4 steps, right? So for an example, for us grown folks, in a group conversation, offer an opinion or share your story. Are you the person who sit in a group conversation and you would never speak? Take baby steps. Okay, you're in the group, raise your hand. It looks like this. I have something to say. Most people who are so shy, they have this really soft voice. I don't suffer from that. It's like, I have something to say. and then just push it out. That's a baby step, right? Do that for yourself. Take baby steps, okay? Question your thoughts. I always say the first thought is from the heart, the second thought is from the mind. The first thought tells you to do it. The second thought say, they gonna judge you. Step back. You don't speak clear enough. You may lose your train of thought. That's me all day, ADHD CEO. You may lose your train of thought. So question your thoughts. As you start to assess your abilities to take baby steps, question whether your thoughts are rational. Does it make sense that you are a fraud given everyone that you know? Does it make sense? It doesn't even make sense. Like, a fraud to me is like a person who shows up as me. You know, to me, that's as fraudulent as you're going to get. So one says, hey, I'm Master Coach Lakendra Smalley, and it's a white woman with long, blonde hair. She's 5 foot, weigh 140 pounds. No, that's an imposter, right? That's fraud. That is not me. These fake and phony Facebook, when people steal your identity and they take your picture and they start a whole new account and they show up as you. To me, that's fraud. But you showing up for yourself every day is not fraud. It's not fraudulent. It doesn't even make sense. It's not rational. So stop comparing. Stop comparing. Every time you compare yourself to others in a social situation, you will find some fault within yourself that fuels. The reason why you find fault? Because you're looking at their imperfections, thinking that is perfection. But they're at home judging what you feel is perfection. They're looking at it as imperfection. So that's the reason why you do not compare yourself, because most people we compare ourselves to, the things that we love the most about them are the things they hate about themselves. Ponder on that one. Okay. So instead, during conversations, focus on listening to what the other person is saying, being genuinely interested in learning more, not focusing on, oh my gosh, she has beautiful teeth. Oh my gosh, her eye, you can't even hear the conversation because you're so in awe with what you feel is perfection that when she goes home every day, when she looks in the mirror, those white, beautiful teeth you think she has, she thinks they're too big. The perfect nose that you think she has, she thinks it's too pointy. The perfect body you think she has, she thinks she's too fat. So stop comparing yourself to others. Y'all got that? Coping skills. Use social media moderately. Social media is like helping our lives and ruining our lives, however you want to see it, right? So if you think it's ruining your life, if you think it's so time consuming, it's taking away from your identity, your privacy, all of the imposter stories that play, those narratives that play in our head. We know the overuse of social media may be related to the feeling of inferiority. So if you try to portray an image on social media that doesn't match who you really are, that is impossible to achieve. It will only make your feelings of being a fraud worse because you're not showing up as yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Just show up as yourself. You don't have to be inferior. Just show up as yourself. Be you. Portray you. If the you is powerful, then you're powerful. If the you is fragile, then you're fragile. If the you is a growing hot mess, then you're just a growing hot mess, right? Most of us are growing hot mess. We just a growing hot mess on social media, okay? But own it. Don't be ashamed. Own that in yourself and stop fighting your feelings. Don't fight the feelings of not belonging. Instead, try to lean into them and accept them. Accept your awkwardness. Like, I feel like I have this awkwardness about me. I feel like it's so hard for me to do this, like what I'm doing now. It's terrifying for me to do this. You wouldn't even know that, but it is. It's almost like my anxiety, which is my imposter, wants to take over and just be like, Lakendra, what happens if you lose your train of thought? What happens? And if I do, I'm going to tell y'all like, psh, I lost my train of thought. Let me go back to my notes. I'm I'm owning and embracing who I am. It's a big thing for me. If my words go too fast in my brain, I may stutter. And so I have to slow down. And sometimes I have to stop and take a deep breath. But I'm owning that feeling. That's just who I am, right? So sometimes I can be really awkward because I can sound off topic because I'll feel that I'm talking on topic, but the topic probably happened 3 sentences ago, but my brain has finally caught up. So it's like, oh, that was an awkward moment. Like they're not even talking about that right now. So if I can do it, you can do it. Stop fighting your feelings and just be you, become you, acknowledge you, embrace you. Stop holding back with your you, okay? And refuse to let it hold you back. Don't allow your disabilities, your inabilities, your incompetence, your self-doubt, your inawareness of self hold you back. Because when you come into all of those abilities, trust me, you will catch up and you will figure out real fast who you are and who you need to be. But if you hold back, how can you ever get corrective feedback? Like my master coaches, my good friends, they give me corrective feedback all the time. Oh, Lakendra, we heard you're live. And, then boom, they drop those bombs. But I'm okay with it now because I don't hold back. So no matter how much you feel like you don't belong, don't let that stop you from pursuing your goals. Don't allow that to stop you from going to trying out that community. Let me see. Let me go into this D Cup community. Let me go into this Coach A's community and let me see if I can be accepted there or if I can shine there. You're never going to know unless you go in and you try. And then you'll figure out like, oh my gosh, this is really a community centered with love and compassion and help, right? And guidance, there's substance here. So keep going and refuse to stop no matter what. That's my saying. You show up no matter what, no matter of the disability, the inability, the inadequacy, no matter what. Because once you land in a good community, there's no judgment. There's always embracing. And is it going to be a perfect community? No, but your household isn't perfect either. But you still welcome your family in, right? That was a hard pill to swallow. Your family, you still bring your family in, even though it's not a perfect household. So communities are not going to be perfect either, but they're thriving communities that still hold accountability and everything is growing. Just like, we're going through fall now. The leaves are going to fall from the trees, getting ready for winter, but they will come back because it's a growing process. Everything circulates, and the imposter syndrome will make you feel that the grass is always green, that the flowers are always beautiful and blooming, like they don't die and come back to life, that the butterfly never was a caterpillar. The imposter will make you feel like the butterfly is always beautiful. Okay? So get all of that out of your head. And that brings me to the end of The Imposter. I hope you really, really, really enjoyed. And I hope you learned something, and I hope you were able to fill your cup up. I hope it's filled to the rim. I'm talking about, I want it to be in an overflow of reflection. I know that you took notes, but I want you to sleep on it. And I want you to come back on tomorrow and reread your notes and process and sleep again and just find your own internal answers. Okay. So, on behalf of D Cup Coffee Republic and Master Coach A and her beautiful coaching club, we want to thank you all for being a part of this journey. And we look forward to welcoming you as a part of a thriving tribe of coaches and entrepreneurs. Tribe and entrepreneurs. And I want to leave you with I'm going to have to get this together. Love, boom, boom. Love, boom, boom. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.